Hi guys, Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, you guys, we are going to do another page in my journal for the 100 Days of Collage. If you want to join the 100 Days of Collage, I mean, we are into it. I think I'm up to my 2021 days, but it doesn't matter. You can do a bunch of collages and catch up. You can just start from now. You could just start now and then go a little bit beyond the 100 days, or just jump in and out as you want. You can come join my Facebook group, which is our magical little place to post in there, and you post hashtag 100 Days of Collage. You can also go to FROYLE Arts. I'll leave her Facebook below. Also, you can go to FROYLE Arts and then join her Facebook group from her YouTube page. Again, it's FROYLE Arts, FROYLE. Let me write that down so I put her thing in. So join both Facebook groups and you can post in both. Just a second. This is the page that I did yesterday. Or yeah, these are some pages that I did over the weekend, the last few days. I'm just looking for a pen so I can write down FROYLE Art. If I don't write these things down, I won't remember to do it. Now, the link for my Facebook group, our magical little place, the link is below. It's a clickable link. But I will put FROYLE Arts. I will put down a clickable link to FROYLE Arts, and you can go to her YouTube channel, subscribe to her YouTube channel because it's awesome, and then from there you can go and join her Facebook group, because I forgot what Making Arts. I forgot what it's called. The exact name of it. So, okay, so the first thing I want to so this is what I worked on. Let me just bring my camera down. This is what I worked on over the last 3 days. And what I've used is I've used my own printables, which I'm going to show you in a second. My own printables and my own Gelli prints, a mixture of those. And this week, FROYLE Arts, she's been having like a theme of the week, and this week was this whole week was black and white with mixtures of metals like gold or silver or bronze. So this is my black and white with the mixture of metals. This one is mostly done with my Gelli prints and my printables. I didn't do black and white. So I'll be going back and forth. I'll be doing black and white and then using my printables this week. So I'll be doing both. So this is the page we're going to be working on. But before we get started with that, let me just show you let me just show you my March printable kit. These are Gelli prints I've made. They're my own artwork mixed with Gelli prints, all kinds of stuff. This is just a Gelli print and then splashed with coffee. That I love how it came out. Isn't that gorgeous? And if you've never seen my stuff, I like to make things look like old walls, old doors, things that came out like you dug up out of an archaeological find. So that's why you're like, why does all your stuff look so rustic? That's why. Here's another one. This is a Gelli print. I love how this came out. So I made this a print for the month. My camera seems, I hope it's not dark. I'm going to bring my lamp a little closer. It seems like, okay, maybe that's good. Yeah, now we're good. All right, here's another one. I love how this Gelli print turned out. It's just so, this just looks like an old wall. I love it. This is a Gelli print with my, and I have two of them. They're a little bit different, and I'll explain. This is my Gelli print, and then I hand drew all of these Native and African symbols. And a lot of times African and Native peoples share a lot of the same symbols, I discovered, and the same meanings, which is really cool. They're at two opposite ends of the world, and they shared some of the same symbols. It's really neat. And the meaning was the same. Now, the reason I have two different ones is because I couldn't fit everything. I don't know. It was just the way things got printed. I couldn't fit everything on. So here you have, this is an African goddess, an African queen. But here, her body got chopped off. At the bottom, this guy here, a girl, got chopped off here. So I just made sure that I adjusted it so that you got everything. So that's why you got 2 pages of that. And the printable package you can get in my Etsy shop. There's a clickable link below. I have to list 5 sheets, 4 to 5 sheets at a time, because I can't list more than 5 in my Etsy for you to be able to print them off. I don't know why. So I have 3 different listings with 5 sheets in each listing. So they're $250 for 5 sheets. Okay. I think one of them has only 4 sheets, and I think I put it down to 2 or $225, something like that. Love how this one came out. This was on a book page originally, and then it was a jelly print, and then I threw coffee all over it. I think it's so old world. I love it. This is another jelly print that I love, and I did it on book paper, so you can see some of the book page come out of it. It's really cool. These are collages that I like to do, and I like the languages from around the world is what I like to call them. I did 3 of them this month. This is my intuitive writing right here. It looks kind of Asian, but it's my intuitive writing. This is Asian writing here. And then this is some Arabic writing here. I think these sheets are really cool to tear up and put in a collage. I did another one, same thing, but in a different arrangement. What's cool about this, I had some bingo cards, so I put that in the collage. Isn't that cool? And then I did my intuitive writing on it. Okay. That's what that one looks like. Oh my goodness. Just a second, you guys. It's going to get crazy. There we go. Sorry. My stupid phone came out of the holder here. Okay. And I have one more of these. I kind of went crazy with making these this year, for this listing, but I love them. And they look similar, but they're all different. So these are just great to just rip up. Take just this Asian piece right here. I've done that. Just take that out. Just take this out. Just take that out. Take that out in the middle. Take that out with this. I mean, it's really fun to use in collage. Okay, now... I have these by Mucha, the artist. I love his work. And his stuff is public domain. So I'm going to put these in my... So since it's public domain, we're allowed to go ahead and put them in our printable kits for people to use them. So I have these 4 of Muchas. So every month I'll put in 4 or 5 of them. Isn't that beautiful? I used that one already. I'll show it to you. I haven't used her yet. I think we're going to use her today. Okay, look how gorgeous these are, and I used her already in a thing. I'll show it to you. Beautiful. And that's what this one looks like. Okay, and then these are, and they're 2 different ones. These are collages that I did with free domain collage bits, and also my own stamping. And I collage these together, so they're very old world, very French looking. Aren't those cool? So there's that one, and then here's this one. So I did those, and then, so I did them, and I had, what I did with these, I had coffee stained them, and Tim Holtz Distress inked them. So I took the same ones, and then left them in black and white, so that people can have a choice of, I can have both. So it's the same ones as those, but it's left in black and white. I didn't distress it. So that you have both. Because, you know, when you collage, you never know what you want to do. Okay, now this printable kit can be used for so much. It can be used for collage, which I do a lot of collage. It can be used for mixed media. It can be used for junk journaling, art journaling, glue books, cards. There's just so much stuff. Any of that kind of stuff you can use these printables for. So, like I said, they're $2.50 for 5 sheets. If there's only 4 sheets, then it's like two or $2.25. And you can go to my Etsy shop. The link, clickable link is below. Okay. Enough of that. We're going to use, I was going to show you how I use those women. I just use those women. Just kidding. The way I said that, I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound good. There they are. So that's how I used it in my collage book. My 100 Days of Collage. Isn't that pretty? She just looks gorgeous. And then that's how I did this one. Okay. Okay, so that's another one I did recently. This is my own Native American art. It's called the White Spirit. Yeah, the White Spirit in Native culture. And so I drew this. I made a print of it. I drew it like 5 or 6 years ago. And so I used mostly my own printables on this, and then did this as a focal point. And then I just showed you these. And this is a lot with my printables and Gelli prints. Okay, so here's today's. Let's move the camera up so I don't hit the damn thing, and move it forward a little bit. Okay. I usually have to take a couple of these pages and clip them a little bit so we can... My book is getting so fat already. I'm having to rip out more pages because I'm not going to be able to do 100 days in this. I'll end up getting another book because this book is already filling up. So, and these pages, okay, normally what I like to do is I don't like to glue pages together because we're doing collage. So the pages are going to be doubled anyway because we're going to collage right over these, right? In this altered book. And if you want to do an altered book, what I do is I take 10 pages, save them, rip out 5, take 10, rip out 5, take 10, rip out 5. Now in this book, I probably should have done a lot more, but I will end up ripping out more pages than that. But since these pages are old, it's a old, I forgot what this book was. Anyway, it's old. Look how beautiful the pages are. Oh, I love how brown they are and yellowed. I do have to do 2 together because they're just very fragile. Okay, so let me get my glue out. Let me get out my... And if the papers are like, if I printed, especially if I've done a Gelli print on the thicker papers, I always use Eileen's Tacky, so I have to have that out too. I like to store it upside down, so I'm trying to find a place where I can store it upside down. There we go. I'm having all kinds of collages. Just a second. You might see the top of my head. Let me get a baby wipe out because I'm going to need that. I don't even know why that fell. Excuse my chair. Okay. All right. Just a second while I reorganize myself. All right, let me get out my brush. And like I said, I am doing some of my stuff in black and white, but you know, I have both. I have my printables, and then I have the theme for the week, but you don't have to follow the theme for the week. It's just if you want to join that. So I'm going to do both. I'll be working with my printables, and then I'll be doing the black and white theme too. But today is my printables. Okay. So people can see how you can use them in collage. I think I'm going to use my Eileen's Tacky to, you've got to put this in between or you're going to have pages sticking. So here's a little bit of deli paper. You can use wax paper. You can use a magazine, whatever you need to use, so that you don't end up that's too many pages. There we go. Ooh, this thing is fat. Okay. Let me put this this up a little bit. I'm just using my Eileen's Tacky to glue these pages together. I mean, I don't have to use, I could have used my matte medium that I have over here, but instead of wasting my matte medium on gluing pages together, I have a ton of Eileen's Tacky, so I'd rather just use that on this. And my Eileen's Tacky is a lot cheaper. When you see it at Dollar Tree, pick it up. That's a good price. Okay. Okay, so those tape pages are glued together, and now we are a lot stronger. And we're going to start on this page over here, because this page over here can flatten out. You know, do I have another clipping anywhere close by? I don't know what the heck I did with them. I call myself trying to organize, and what I usually do is organize myself into a mess, because then I put something new in a new spot, and then I don't know what the heck I did with it. Okay, good. I have one of these sitting right here. And that'll flatten that out so we can work on that side in a second. Okay, so let me see what I'm inspired by. I think for a focal, I don't always have a focal point for my art, as you've seen. Some pages I have focal points, some collages I don't. But I do want to use one of these. So I might use her today. I'm going to use her. And I will split her in between the two pages. Because my pages are small. I'm working in a smaller book. Which I didn't think I'd actually like working in a smaller book. But I absolutely love working in this small book. Okay, you know what? I haven't used this and I'm loving it. So let's use this and this. Okay? To start out with. Let me see how I want to do it. First of all, let me get my scissors. First of all, let's trim off all, I'm just trimming off all the white. So that we don't have to deal with any of the white line. Remember that song? White lines. I'm 52. If you're in the 50s or 40s, you remember what the song White Lines is. Okay. People are like, what are you talking about? Okay, so let's rip this, and this is going to go, I think, on the side here. You know, I don't want that white, so that off. Okay. I don't like to see any white lines, and I also don't like to see, for the most part, sometimes I like white lines in this, it just depends. I also don't like, I'm going to rip this off to here, so it goes down like that, so something else can be exposed. What was I going to say? Oh, and I don't like, for the most part, I don't like straight edges. I shouldn't say I always don't like straight edges, because straight edges could happen. But most of the time, I don't like straight edges. All right, I like that, so. And when you get down to like small bits like this, save all these small bits. Have a little scrap bin for little small pieces, because you can make really cool washi tape and really cool stamps. And I'm about to have another little stamp session and washi tape session, because I'm out of stamps, basically. Mixed media stamps, collage mixed media stamps, and I love them. So I need to make some more. All right, so that's with that right there. Oh, I'm loving that. When you use beautiful collage papers, it's just not hard. This is gorgeous. Look how beautiful that is. So that might be used over here. We'll see. Let's leave that there. All three of these pieces might go over here. Those are the leftovers of that. You know, I want some map or some type of love letter or text or something. So let me get out the one that I created. Do I not have that? Yeah, here it is. These right here. So let me say. Let me get the white lines off. This is what I'm looking at right now. I made a set just plain, not distressed out like these one, like this one is. I did the black and white in case I wanted to do more of a monochromatic. Anybody wants to do a more monochromatic page, then you have the black and white. So, do I want this to go on top? And if this goes on top, it's going to be ripped. Or I want this underneath. And then just barely showing, or do I want... All right, I know what I want. I'm going to rip this a little bit more. So these two can be here like that. Let me rip the top of this. I'm ripping the top of this so it's not even. I don't have much to rip though because I don't want to rip off the Eiffel Tower that's up there at the top. I love that Eiffel Tower. So that was one of my stamps. I stamped that in. I stamped a bunch of stuff in. Okay. There we go. So, do we want to go like this? Do I like that? Decisions. And actually, I think I like this the best. I just feel like something needs to come. There we go. That's it. All right, there we go. I knew one needed to go under, maybe one needed to go on top. And I think that's what I like. Because then it looks like this is some old wall that has some big tear in it and exposing something underneath it. In my opinion, that's how I'm seeing it. So that's the base right there that we're going to go with. So let me rip this apart. And this will be the base that we're going to go with. So let's go ahead and glue this down. Sorry, rearranging myself again. Okay. Got to get I use a magazine as a glue surface. I've said it a million times, but if you haven't been here before, just reminding myself of what I'm doing. I use that as a glue surface, the magazine, and it's so nice because I have a glass mat, but getting glue off even a glass mat, I mean, it comes off, but you have to work it, and I'd rather just not have that. And then I don't have to worry about a sticky mess. I make a sticky mess, and then I flip the page. So if you've never done that, you have to try it. It's awesome using magazines for glue surfaces. Now, since you're a collager, you might want to first check the magazine. Or as you're going along, look at the pages and rip them out if you like them. Oh, believe me, I rip out pages all the time. I go, oh, I like that for collage. So I don't use it as a glue surface. I just rip it out really quick. Look how cool that looks just against the book print. I love it. And I do not know why, but I would rather work in an altered book than a art journal that I buy. I just love altered books. Especially old ones. And then when you rip out these pages, save them so you can use them in collages. So I have a whole bunch of these pages. Yeah, did I put them in the back of here? Yeah, here they are. In the back of the book. Look how old and just yummy those pages are. They'll be so great for collage. Okay. What's next? I think this is next, and then this goes on top. Yeah. And I might go over the edge, which I am going to go over the edge a little bit. And then afterwards, I will, I'll, cut off whatever's over the edges. It's better just to go over the edges than to cut something too short. That's what I think. Just takes the stress off of you, having to match things up perfectly and all that. Nobody has time to be matching up things perfectly. You know I don't. Okay. How's this going in? Okay, there we go. Oh, in fact, this one, because there's nothing on the back of this page. Oh, this page is ripping. What the heck? Okay. It's going to get glued. I just go on the back of it and go like this. And then it starts the other page, too. Plus, my page ripped right there. So, that just glued it back. Thank goodness. So if it's on an edge where there's nothing on the back, I just like to fold it over. That looks good. Doesn't that look good? Okay. But we're working with beautiful papers. So like I said, it's just like you almost can't go wrong because you're working with such beautiful papers. And how I start a collage, if people have a hard time starting, I just look at my collage material that I have, all my Gelli prints, my printables, anything I've ripped out of magazines, also other people's printables, also scrapbook paper. What scrapbook paper do you have? I use a lot of Tim Holtz scrapbook paper in my collages, especially like his love letters and stuff, and just all kinds of stuff. So just know with collage, nothing's out of realm to throw into your collage. Always be open to put anything in your collages. So wherever you're at and you see paper and think, ooh, that might look good in my collage, take it. There's a lot of free stuff everywhere you go that you can throw into a collage. That looks really good. Doesn't that look pretty? Just want to see. Now at this point I can start adding little bits here and there. Like, I remember this piece I said that I loved. I could add that piece back up here and go like that, and I will. That looks good. And that just came from that same piece of paper, but there's so many, different little cool things on one page. That just added some more interest right there, I think. Very pretty. Yeah, and I like how this looks. So let's go to this other side. And as we go along, we may always add more stuff. All right, I'm filling this whole thing right now. So we're going to add that in. Let me cut the white edges off. The white lines. so that we don't have to deal with those. Okay, so I'm going to rip this right now. Just a second. And I can take these off. It's flattened it out a little bit for me to work on it. Yeah, I'm seeing this here. So what I do is I'll rip it off. I don't need all of that, but I'll rip it off below so that I'll rip it off below so it hangs off. So, you know, I make sure that I don't take off too much. Okay. And then I have this little piece here that I really love. See, this is like half a bird right there, which means nothing. So I love this piece here that was at the bottom. So I'm probably going to put that right back on top here. I am. That looks cool. All right. This is probably going to fall, but that's fine. All right. So let's see what else we want to use. What else do we want to use? Let's get into some of this. Ooh. I'm looking at this sheet right here. You know, there we go. Cut the white lines off again. And there's so many elements with these collage sheets that I make like this that we can pull things out of. Like you could pull just that. You could pull just this on the edge. There's so much coolness. Remember how I told you guys I don't use straight edges very often, but sometimes I do, and I may be using a straight edge on this because I'm gonna cut this bingo card out with all this Asian print on it. This one right here. So I may not be putting that other piece back in. Maybe putting that up like that. Let me try ripping this in half because it's a little bit big. I want to use it, but we don't need that much of it. And oh my God, I have a straight line in my book. Oh, amazing. And then I may still put, yeah, and I'll probably put that piece back there and then have that go over that. Maybe. Or maybe this will go up here. Maybe this just go in the middle. All right, let's leave that alone there for a second. We need some different. We need something to pop this whole thing, and I think some metallic is what we're looking for. So let me just look over here at my metallic on black. See this right here? This is on black papered metallic paints with a script stencil, and stencil on the Gelli plate. And I'm just feeling like that we need some of this. So let me these are going to be upside down, which I think could be cool too. So always turn your stuff right side up and upside down. Upside down numbers can be cool, in my opinion. See, that makes it more interesting, doesn't it? I think so. And then maybe this on top of that. Actually, I'm not liking that. What about this over here? Now I'm covering up a bunch of stuff that I originally wanted, but, or we'll go like that and then show a little bit of that because that's really interesting, this thing here. That's really cool. We can just go like that. I like this. Okay, so I know it's about right there is where it's going to get cut off at, so let's go a little bit below it. Rip that off. Save that for making stamps and washi. I like that. That's cool. All right, so let's at least get those 3 pieces down. And then we'll probably end up adding to that. This is really thick. This is done on black cardstock. So since that's done on black cardstock, I definitely will use the Eileen's Tacky. I'm going to lift you guys up a little bit for now. I'm going to work with that lifted up. You're not going to be able to see real close, but I'll bring it back in so you guys can see it once it's all glued down. But it's easier for me to work with that up a little bit because there's this arm right now that's holding my phone, and I'll keep hitting that arm. So that's how my phone fell off a few minutes ago. I hit the arm. It's funny when you make videos, you're working around and doing so many different things, and normally if you're just, you know, arting in your room, in your studio, you got to make adjustments. Okay, I try to stay out of the, you know, that crease right there. Because it's hard when you get too close into that crease to lay flat. Just a second, I gotta work this for a second because we have to be in the crease, and also because we're using a pretty thick cardstock. The best thing is book pages, paper, just paper more than cardstock because cardstock is so thick. But then I wanted to have this black paper to use the metallics on, and black cardstock is what I had. So, you know, you just got to work with it. All right, let's just make sure this is glued in. If it's not, we can always go back with our Eileen's Tacky and glue it in better. Okay, so now we have this, right? We're going to put this in. So let's do that next. And that's just printed on old good copier paper, so we can use our matte medium. And you don't have to use matte medium. You can use whatever you want. You can use white glue. You can use homemade matte medium. You can use decoupage. You can use a glue stick. But I just think, I think some type of glue would be better just to make sure that your collage bits really get glued in good. I mean, I have some good glue sticks that usually the stuff stays, but I just feel more secure if I use a glue with a brush most of the time. There's some instances I do use a glue stick, so I never like to say never on anything because there's always exceptions to what you're doing. Okay. I really need to, well, let me just go like this. Let me bend this because I need to know where the edge of this page is when I put this in. Well, I guess I don't. This can just go over the edge too. Okay, so we're going to put that in right there. All right. All right. Put that in. That looks cool. I love that. And that's, like I said, one of my Gelli prints that use like a script stencil. So that's what this looks like. Cool, huh? And I'm working in a small book, you guys. This book is like, I'll tell you how small it is. It's a Reader's Digest. That's what it's called. I couldn't think of it earlier. But this book is small. This book is only like, this book is like 4 inches wide and almost 7 inches long. So I'm working in a really small book, and I thought this would be annoying working in this small book. I absolutely been loving this small book. This little Reader's Digest. I love it. Okay, so let me see if there's any other little elements that I want to add into this right now at this point. Before we start doing mark making. I'm just trying to see if I want to. I like the way these pages look. I don't feel like they need elements at this point. There's going to be other elements put into this, but I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to collage in. But I love the way it looks right now. So we're going to go with that for now. We're going to put our focal point on next. I want to do my focal point on there next. Like I said, I don't always work with focal points. It just depends. Let me cut her out and see if we want to. I'm loving the way this collage came out. So I'm almost wanting to just go ahead and go to doing mark making and stuff on here. And not putting a focal point, because I really like how this came out. So I'm just going to test this really quick, but I think I'm cutting this out for no reason. You guys are like, okay, Angela. Cutting it out for no reason. Okay. Well, you just don't know these things until you do them. Because I'll be splitting. If I was to put her in, I would cut her in half. So half will go on this page and half will go on that page. Yeah, you guys, I'm not going to use her as a focal point in this one. Okay? I'm liking the way this looks. So the next thing I want to go to is either putting some more elements on the page or mark making. And I'm going to put elements. Remember I told you nothing. You can put anything in. Let me put this glue thing away for now. Where do I have my... Oh, here it is. Nothing is free from going into my collages. So I'm going to use some Dollar Tree stickers. Now you're like, that sounds tacky as hell. It's not. I will show you. Look at these. These look like Tim Holtz kind of stuff. And anybody who's been on my channel has already seen these, but... And maybe these butterflies. I've been putting a lot of butterflies on a lot of things, so I might not put butterflies on this. I've been doing too many butterflies, I think. And we can maybe put a feather on here too. So this is what I'm talking about. These are the kind of look at these look at these. So this is what I'm talking about. These are stickers from Dollar Tree. I need to pull out some more of these because I've been using them like crazy. I think that's the same one. No, it's not. So, also these, I use this on a page. These are from Dollar Tree also, and they're, you know, rhinestones, and especially the black ones are so cool. And the clear ones, just get different ones when you see them if you want to try using them on your thing. These book things are really cool. Oh, I did pull some more. Cool, I did pull more. So all these are really cool to use. So, all right, so let's use some of this stuff. Oh, I also pulled keys. They don't always carry these consistently, so when you see this stuff, pick it up. That's like anything from Dollar Tree. If you see it, pick it up when you see it, because you'll go back next time and it won't be there. I'm thinking about using this one right here. Oh, and I like to hot glue these down. Ooh, the love part comes separately. Okay. I like to glue these down, but first I like to just put them on real lightly to kind of place them to see if I'll end up liking where I put them. So I just lightly put them down and see if I like it, and then I'll hot glue them. Even though they have a stickiness on them, I don't trust the stickiness. I love that. Look how cool that looks down there. Okay, so let me move my papers out of the way, and you guys should see the pile of papers I have. Look at this. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then let me get my hot glue gun. Let me get it plugged in. There we go. My glue gun is plugged in. And we'll be able to hot glue this stuff in a second. All right, so let's continue on. You know, I can raise this back up. Okay. Is this dry enough for me to cut this off yet? No. Let me look at my stuff here and see what else we want to do. Also, these are cool. These are rub-ons. Those can also be cool and stuff. I'm just looking at things to see where I want to put them. I'm looking at these, like at this one here. Also, I have stamps. Stamps, my own handmade stamps, so. Okay, these I haven't opened up. These are the binding of books. So, let me open these stickers here. Oh my god, my garbage can is so full right now. If you saw it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, Angela, take that out. It's horrific looking. And all this kind of stuff just jazzes up your pages even more. Look how cool that looks like. I love that. All right, I'm just still looking for other little areas to put stuff. I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I almost also feel at the same time it's going to cover too much up. But, all right, let's, and this is the thing, just try things and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then look how cool that looks. I like it. I'm putting that big old book. This is the cover of, the front cover of a book. And then that's the, what is that called? You know, when you have a book and you have the binding edge of a book. There you go. Is that what it's called? The binding edge? Lord only knows. Okay, do I want anything else? I think this is enough of the, yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, I like all that, so I'm going to put all the rest of these stickers away. The butterflies I'm talking about are these. You get these at Dollar Tree also. These would be great to use in this. But I've been using a lot of these, so I don't want my pieces to start looking like too much alike. I mean, my work looks alike anyway because it's me doing it. But, yeah, I just feel like I could just not use those this time. Also, I've been using a lot of feathers in my work, and I'm going to show you. Show you the feathers. We could put a feather. I'm putting a lot of feathers in my work too, but I don't care. I love feathers. And these feathers are special to me because I picked them up in Pismo Beach, walking along Pismo Beach in Pismo Beach, California, and I love them. Where are they? Just a second, guys. Sorry to get my arm in the way. Just put my glue away. All right, where the heck are they? I've got so many. Okay, here we go. I like to store my stuff. I have like 5 or 6 of them in these. And they just store right here at my desk so that all these little elements are just at my disposal. Okay, so these are some feathers that I have. And I painted them. I want to do a video on these, just painting feathers. Wouldn't that be fun? So I have gold one, and I have 2 blacks. I think this is all I have left of my feathers. And then my feathers are done. So these are all natural feathers. Now, you don't have to have natural feathers. You can use just the fakies that you get from the craft store. See, I love that. Look how pretty that looks. That feather's going right there. Fabulous. And I like to hot glue. Hopefully my hot glue is ready. I like to hot glue my feathers in, because then they just lay real nice on the page. They lay really flat, and they lay right in. If you use other glue, you need that instant adhesion when you're working with these feathers. That's what I have found. And it lays nice and flat. Perfect. And I need to cut this at the bottom. And I don't mind it hanging like that. I think that's kind of cool. So we'll leave that hanging. Oh, I love that feather in there. Look how cool. Look at the elements. Adding these little elements, it just really adds to your collage. And I haven't even started doing any mark making at all yet. I thought I would add the elements in, and then I will do some mark making. Do I want to add this in anywhere? I don't think I do. As I say that, this is what they look like. Aren't they beautiful? They lay pretty flat. Let's test it out and see. I'm thinking maybe... Oh, that's gorgeous. Right there on the edge of this page. That's gorgeous. I love it. So, I want to hot glue this on. So, at least hot glue it in sections. It's pretty sticky. Yeah, let's just test this out, the stickiness on the back of this, and we will leave it alone. Because this is a long strip, it's going to be kind of hard to hot glue. Let's see if how much it sticks and stays. And then I'll trim this off in a minute when I trim off the rest of the stuff. But that looks really cool, doesn't it? Okay, but we can go ahead right now and hot glue these other elements on. So the more open mind you can be about your collage, and the more interesting you're going to make your collages, because you're going to be able to put anything in it. You don't have to worry about crap. And if you're, I know my book gets fat really quickly, and it probably gets fat because of all these elements I put in it. I don't, when I get to the point where my book's too fat, I don't worry about closing my book. I stand my book up and I let it flare open. So now it's like a little statue. How much more interesting is it to have something like that? People are going to come over and go, okay, that looks interesting. What's in that book? That's how I look at it. rather than a flat book that sits perfectly closed, if someone has a book standing up and all these pages are just like exposed, I would be like, what is in there? I want to see that. So then you don't have to worry and stress yourself about keeping your book flat. Who cares? Sit it up, let the pages flare out, and make it look like a little, like it's its own little statue. It's its own little art piece. That's how I look at it. But that's just me. And you take the stress off yourself too. And you open yourself up with being able to add whatever you want into your altered collage book. Altered collage journal for the 100 days of collage. So I hot glued this in. I hot glued the frame separately and then put the love in the middle there because cool, huh? And then let's do this piece here. So now we have all of our elements glued in. I'll just show you. I'm probably not going to put these stamps on, but I just want to show you the last few stamps I have. Like I said, I've made a bunch, but I need to make a bunch more. And I think I'm going to make a bunch of stamps and then put them in my printables so that you can have my stamps that I make, and then and so can I. And I don't have to always make stamps. I can just cut them out of my printable sheets. So when I make these printable sheets, they're also for myself. They're mainly for myself. So if no one buys them, I'm like, fine. Now I can use my own sheet, my own printables. Okay, so these are the stamps I made. Oh, I've discovered something that's really cool. I was watching Shabby Duda. She does a lot of junk journals and a lot of cool stuff on her channel. Check her out. To make them look more like, okay, I edged it out with Tim Holtz Distress ink or some type of black ink on the edges. She uses thinning shears on the edges, and that just cuts them perfectly. I've never seen that before, and so I have a pair of thinning shears, but they're for cutting hair. So I'm going to buy another pair. So the next time I do these, I'll be able to trim them like a real stamp. So I'm excited. So let me just see if there's any place I want to put this stamp. I don't think there is. I think we have, because I want to do some. Yeah, we're done. I just want to show you those. Those are cool. Also, I make wax seals out of clay. I have a video on it. You can just look below. I think it was in one of my Sunday lives. Yeah, I think it was in one of my Sunday lives. Just look below and you'll see how I made them. But they're made out of clay little wax seals. These can also go on the pages. These are fabulous. So, I keep those in the same front pocket with my stamps. The stamp making has got to, I've got to do it. If I do a video or not, I've got to make some stamps. Like, it's like vital that I make stamps. Okay, where did I put the feathers? Did they go in here? Oh, I think they go in here too. I think. Maybe they go in here. I can't remember. Okay. Now it's going to be time for some mark making. Let me put all the Tim Holtzy vintagey looking stickers away. I know when I say stickers, that's really deceiving because you're like, a sticker? That sounds absolutely tacky. Not those stickers. Those stickers are awesome. Okay, so I want to do a little bit of mark making. Where are my glasses? And let me see what I'm seeing here for some marks. I'm seeing some messy writing right here, so I'm going to do that. Oh my God, the front of my table here looks like a wreck. Oh. As long as I can find everything. So what messy writing is just taking cursive. You don't do it legibly. You just do it, and you can write whatever. You can write the word, I love you so much. I hope for the world to have peace and love forever. And then just write, you can write words, hope, love, peace, beauty, period. Okay, so I just wrote whatever. It doesn't matter what you write. Make it messy and just write real messy in here. And it just is like some script to go in your thing. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. I seen a girl do it a while back, and so I put that in my repertoire of mark making because I thought that is cool. Okay, the other marks I want to make is I've been showing you guys this. I make these little cheat sheets of things I like to do. So this is algebra equations. I've been wanting to put that in my work. I've been putting Roman numerals in my work. I went through and found a bunch of Native and African symbols, and I drew them out myself and made little cheat sheets so that I can use these symbols in my artwork as marks. Cool, huh? So, just trying to see what I want to do. I don't have a whole lot of room for mark making, so that's what I'm looking at, how I want to do it. Okay, I love this sign right here. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to do that. I forgot what that sign means. I had it written down somewhere what it means because I have it somewhere else. I'll run into it again, the meaning of it. I'm going to use my Jane Davenport Iki quill pen type of pen, and it's a brush pen for this sign. Okay. And then there we go. Does that look cool? So there's a cool mark. Love that. And then I want to do some algebraic equations. I also love doing, these are a bunch of different African and native symbols, and I love the Cocopellis. I wish I had room to put a Cocopelli in, I would do it. I would hand draw that for you right now, but I don't have room for that. Okay, right here, I'm going to turn my book sideways. And right here, I'm going to do an algebraic equation, or probably a couple of them in through here, okay? And I'll try to bring my camera down so you can see. And I'm just going to use this ink pen here, Kelly Creates, small brush pen. It's really like a brush. It just has a point on it, so I don't know what they call it, a brush pen. Okay. For those of you who watch my channel, you've heard the story a million times already, but I'll let you know, because some people are going to ask me, how in the world did you think to put an algebraic equation as a mark making in your mark making? Well, what happened was, I was at Hobby Lobby and I saw this picture of Albert Einstein, and they drew it like, they made it look like they drew him on like a chalkboard, and then the background was algebraic equations, and I'm like, that is so cool. I'm going to start using that in my artwork. So I came right home and made a couple of prints, printed out a couple of different things of algebra equations, and here I am. Plus 56n. Plus 7 and 2. And I have a whole story, which I won't talk about today, of why I like algebra. Which sounds weird because I'm an artist and I like art. And usually they don't go together. But Anyway, it's a story, but I'm not going to tell that one today. I'm going to leave this alone because I just love how this looks by itself. I'm going to put a couple plus signs in, or crosses, because I love crosses. I don't know when I started loving crosses, but I love to put crosses in my work, so we're going to put some crosses here and there. Okay, and then down here at the bottom, I'm going to throw another algebra equation down here at the bottom. I was going to do some Roman numerals. Oh, I could throw some Roman numerals right in here. Just right here. I will throw some Roman numerals. Let me do that first. Really quickly, just throw a few in. 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, that's 5. There's 6. I remember when I was little, I loved learning how to write in Roman numerals because it just looks so fancy. Well, now I know. It's like art. Roman numerals are like art. That's why I'm throwing them in my art. Look how fancy that is. See? It's cool. And then throw a couple of crosses in. All right. And then I said I want to do one more algebra equation right here. Not a long one. Do a shorty. There's not much room. And I think it's kind of cool to write over the cursive right here. This is why I love mixed media. You can just mix up everything and it just looks cool. Just mix things up layer after layer. And then at the end, you just end up with something cool. Okay, I think that's all this. I think we're done. I need to trim this edge off here. I need to go ahead and take my black and just edge this whole thing out. What time are we looking at? Have we already been on for an hour? Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's take the that off. We're almost done. Let me bring my camera up so I'm not working. So I'm not working on this camera so much. There we go. So sorry I'm far away right now, but I need to work under this camera. Okay. Actually, all these little pieces. You guys should see I have tons of scrap scrap pieces everywhere. And I need to put them in my scrap box. And I keep just throwing them on top of my stuff over here. And that's not working. Okay. It's covering everything I need to use. All right. So, my scissors of some sort. One of my bigger ones, where are they? What the heck did I do with my large scissors? I don't know. I'll use these. Oh yeah, I forgot I have this to deal with. All right, let me get my Tim Holtz because I'm going to have to cut through one of those. Oh, here's my scissors. Here's my bigger one. All right, I love these Tim Holtz scissors so that if you have something to cut through that's like metal or basically this bead, I can go right through it. Hard plastic. See how it just goes right through it? And I'm just going to use them to cut the rest of this off. These Tim Holtz scissors, get them in your life. They are worth it. They're like 15 to 20 bucks, something like that. Use a coupon if you have to at this craft stores, but they're the bomb. See, I had to cut a part of that stone off, and you can cut right through it with those Tim Holtz. They're fabulous. Okay, do I have any other edges hanging off? Just trim this up really quickly. Do I have anything else hanging off? Over here. So now I just want to edge everything out. What I mean by that is I can take a water-soluble crayon, or you can use a Stabilo. But since I'm doing the edges, I like to go something big. So this is Jane Davenport's water-soluble crayon. Look how it looks like a lipstick. You get a whole thing of the, like 10 come in a pack of colors. But anyway, I always have this one out. Look, you put it up, it looks like a lipstick. Isn't that fabulous? Love it. And it's just a water-soluble crayon. You can use a gelato. You can use a, you can use a gelato, you can use a Stabilo, you can use, what's the waxy type of one of these? An oil pastel. But with an oil pastel, like these are water soluble, so I'll need to use my water brush or wet my finger to smear it around. But, I just said it. What was I saying? The oil pastels, you just use the heat of your finger and just rub over it and you can smear it out. Okay. Also, oh, I kind of like that. Sometimes in the ditch here, because I don't go into the ditch, that's what it's called. I'll throw black in there, but I like the fact of seeing that book page in there. I just think it looks cool. So I'm not going, I usually sometimes take my Stabilo and get in there and darken that out. But I like seeing that there's book page right there. So I'm going to leave that. Now I've seen quite a few girls do this. I thought, oh, that's genius. I used to wet my finger. Actually, I used to use my spit. Like, that's sanitary. But you can just take your water brush and just go over it. And it's so quick. It's quicker than my finger and my spit. Or sometimes I would use, you know, put my hand on a baby wipe and do it the correct way. But this is really quick and easy, just using a water brush to smear it. I forgot who I seen do this, but now I've seen a lot of people do it, so now this is how I do it. I love it. It's so quick. And I like quick. I work quick. I like to move quick. And that's another thing, you guys. If you see I do work pretty fast, you do not have to work as fast as I do. I just do everything fast. I talk fast. I walk fast. I art fast. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but that's just me. So I just got to move at my pace. Everyone just, and that's the key. Everyone just needs to move at their pace. There's no wrong or right of how fast you move or do art or do anything. It's just you, whatever you do. So you guys, that is it for today. So this is, I think this is my, I can't remember. Oh, you know, I can actually tell you because I wrote it down. Where did I put it at? I have my notepad. Here it is. I'm on my 21st collage. 21 days. So this is my 21 days. So, okay, I need both those for my notes. So this is for my hashtag 100 days of collage. It's my 21st collage, my 21st day. And this is how it came out. Let me just bring you down a little bit so you can get a close-up. And we used all of my March printable kit for this. Cool, huh? Oh, and a jelly print. That's a jelly print. And then, of course, we did some embellishments and feathers and some mark making. So I hope you guys like it. I think it came out pretty cool. There we go. So if you want March's printable kit, you can go to my Etsy shop. It's linked below. It's $5, not $5. It's $2.50 for 5 sheets. There's 3 different sets of those sheets. So I think there's a set of 5 that's $2.50, another set of 5 that's $2.50, and then that's a set of 4, I believe. And I think that's for 2 or $2.25. So you go there and they're all downloadable prints, so you can print them off right there and use them in your artwork. And make sure you guys go join my Facebook group called Our Magical Little Place, and you post your artwork in there, and just post hashtag 100 days of collage, and you can say whatever else you want to say about it. Go join if you want FROYLE Arts, her group. I'm going to give you a link to her YouTube channel. And then from there, there's a link for her Facebook group. So you can get the name right, because I can't remember the name of the Facebook group. I belong to the Facebook group too. Making Arts, I can't remember. But that way you can go join FROYLE Arts YouTube channel. Make sure you join her YouTube channel. And then you can click in her description. So you can join her Facebook group, okay? And then you can post there too. So you have 2 places to post. You can also post in your own Instagram. So, or, you know, I have an Instagram below here. If you want to post Instagram hashtag, I'll see it. So, hashtag 100 Days of Collage. Okay, you guys, that is it. Oh, one other thing. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. Give this video a thumbs up. Any comments or questions, leave them below. Also, on Sundays, every Sunday, 2 o'clock Pacific time, I live in Las Vegas. I go live. It's called Angie's Art Party. It's a lot of fun. Everybody comes there. They're talking. They're all still arting or crafting along. I'm usually doing some type of collage or mixed media, stuff like this. I do giveaways, and it's just a lot of fun. And one of my moderators came up with Angie's Art Party, because everyone's like, this is like a party in here. So it was fun. It's fun. So come join us on Sunday, 2 o'clock Pacific time, when we go live. Okay, you guys, that is it. I will talk to you guys in the next one.